Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. This is for educational purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho 4. May the 4 victims rest in peace. Condolence to the families, and may the correct justice be served. We all are still trying to figure out who unalived these 4 victims and what was the motive. From the beginning, we were told that this was a targeted attack. We were never told the access point to the house, the entry point was never mentioned, but we know that the front door was left wide open. Many strange things and strange pictures were taken that night, the 13th of November. This was one of them. A subscriber of mine asked me a week ago, could you please put up the picture of DM allegedly with a mask? That was the rumors going on in the beginning. And it was taken from her social media. The person with the baby pink mask is allegedly DM. And the person with the black mask is supposed to be KAYLEE. You can see him on the right hand side. But he insists and says, he sent this picture and he says, that's my proof that I was in Boise, Idaho. So we have to take his word for that. Or take it with a pinch of salt. Let's not forget these crimes happen when restrictions was going on for the public because of that flu, if you get what I mean. It was towards the end. It was 2 weeks after Halloween, and we saw the pictures of DM, the stage she looked at in Halloween. She looked like she's being bullied. So are these pictures legit? Your guess is as good as mine. But this is the picture. So if KAYLEE was at 1122 Kings Road, I wonder if he was driving the black truck. Was it the one that was seen at Taylor Avenue? Is that the one Jack D was driving? But Jack D is a white truck, but we've seen him with a black truck. Hoodie guy is clearly carrying something in his jacket. I don't know what it is, but he is carrying. And he's not the only one. Wow! I find this to be interesting. The guy that I always believed was Hannah Clee's brother, half-brother, that she found out right before she was unalive, has on white gloves. And Shawalter has on white gloves too. Can there just be a coincidence? These people are pretending not to know each other. What does he have in his pockets too? I know they can have their phone device, but they're having things sticking out of the pocket like Hoodie guy. That doesn't look right. You can see he has on white gloves, and this one has white gloves. I'll be doing a clip about Hannah Clee, just to try and make connections. Because I know what's going on in the grub truck is going to lead to the demising of KAYLEE and Maddie. Allegedly. These are very odd. I believe the Hannah Clee's brother and his friend. Look at how Walter's looking at them. They're standing behind. They come to collect the food. There goes one. Hoodie guy is dancing. There goes the second one. They clash into each other. They get confused. Then they go separate ways. Hoodie guy is still looking at that guy. There's more guys. I think the neighbors did it. The neighbor did it. That's Hoodie guy. John Showalter, allegedly. The girls have filed reports with the local police claiming he had stalked them. He had belonged to a frat but was thrown out. It's being theorized that Eaton, who also belonged to a frat which was different than the one the neighbors belonged to, told the neighbors' frat about the stalking. So basically, Eaton got him kicked out because he was stalking the girls. And that got the neighbor kicked out. It explains motive and targeting. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. We try and make it straight. So the neighbor did it. That's Jack Showalter, allegedly. The girls have filed reports with the local police claiming he had stalked them. He had belonged to a frat but was thrown out. It's been theorized that Eaton, who also belonged to a frat which was different than the one the neighbor belonged to, told the neighbor's frat about the stalking. And then that got the neighbor kicked out. It explains motive and target. I agree. The girls' house had parties. The girls had parties at the house all the time. The neighbor probably went to their parties. The front door code was given out. Oh yeah, he just came in through the front door because he had the code. And I'm sure Hoodie guy knows Murphy. So he just came inside. He was waiting for the girls to come home. And then he attacked them. And he didn't do it by himself because we saw 4 figures running too. So it's starting to add up. That's why it's always important, I believe, to go to the beginning. But I'm happy for the foundings that I found recently, like Hoodie guy carrying something, and the other frat guy, the short guy, carrying a big machete. That is really important because that shows the other people who had motive and not BK. I don't believe this was a random person like BK who just came in and decided to delete 4 people. This was somebody who had anger, revenge, hate, because the unlivings were so brutal. And Hoodie guy comes under all of those lists. He got kicked out of the frat. Eaton got him kicked out because he was harassing the girls. So that's Eaton was his target. His motive was revenge, hate, anger, rage. Then KAYLEE got him kicked out of the corner club that night. KAYLEE was going to report him for something to do with Hannah Clee's unaliving, according to her own brother. And a half-brother was seen at the grub truck. The one with the glasses. and the other one is his friend. And they drive, allegedly, a 2017 Hyundai Elantra. Starting to add up for me. BK was around those areas for his own reason. Unless he knows Hoodie guy. But it's starting to add up for me at least. Allegedly, guys. This is all my opinion and nothing else. All this could be just my opinion and he could be totally innocent. But when I look at all the motives, targets, his injuries on his eye, his carrying, the girls ran away from him. He kept on looking at KAYLEE on her mobile, her phone device. He's trying to read her text. He was saying hi to the frat boys. They turned away so that KAYLEE and Maddie couldn't see them. And Showalter knows BF and DM from the same high school. He knows the code to come in the front door. He doesn't even need them. He could have told them, just keep quiet, others y'all are next. And they know him from high school, so they must know his sociopathic behaviors, allegedly. He was throwing dead animals, like coyotes, on females' doorstep, the frats. Explain that. And he comes from a rich, privileged family, and now the trial is in Ada County, Boise, Idaho. Wow, that's what I always feared. I'm sure and I heard that his family pay a lot of donation to Idaho Moscow University. His brothers are doctors, his mother's a doctor, his father's a doctor. His adopted brother from Kenya behaves himself. So you can imagine the pressure he must be getting from his family too, in my opinion only. We heard from the girl from Boise, Idaho, who said she worked with them in 2021. And she didn't have much good to say about him. She said she had to slap him to get him out of her way. He seems to be very violent, full of rage, especially to females. And Ethan was his perfect target because Ethan, may he rest in peace, came and ruined the only thing Showalter had to live for. I don't think he was a school book, allegedly. So the frats is all he was living for. He was trying to impress them. You could see the change even in his pictures. He was glowing in his previous pictures with the suits. And look at him later. He has an injury on his eye at the grub truck. And he has a cut on his face. Where was he? What was he doing? And many people have said from the college that he was thrown out of the grub truck, of the corner club, because of harassing KAYLEE and Maddie. I think he was obsessed with KAYLEE. And I think KAYLEE was going to tell on him about Hannah Clee, according to Hannah Clee's real brother, the one that she grew up with, allegedly. Hoodie guy was the only person who left town, guys. Let's not forget that. He drove to Idaho, Boise, Idaho, 5.5 hours to his family's cabin. What was he doing there? and his police integration was done allegedly over the phone? Make that make sense? He could have had the knife, he could have gone. He was the last person to be seen with the girls. And he threatened them. He said, you know they're going to get you for that, Maddie. Thank God I'm finding old articles that I've spoken about 2 years ago. Because now it's more like a fact. I wasn't just saying it. The girls' house had parties at their house all the time. The neighbor probably went to those parties. The front door code was given out freely. He was a champion wrestler and for sport. He killed large animals and cut them in two. He had large knife collections. I think all they have on him now is circumstances, so they didn't arrest him, but I don't know why he's not a person of interest. So he was a champion wrestler, like I said, all the time. You know he kills large animals and he cuts them in two. He had a large knife collection. Wow. And everyone knew the code. That's completely true. These are old articles. For the people who are skeptical of Jackass, my boyfriend had an interesting thought that I wanted to share. I haven't heard anyone else bring this up, but I apologize if it's already been discussed. Allegedly, I have no idea if this has been confirmed, but I'm just branching off this with our own theory. Jackass drove 5 hours to his parents' cabin the morning after the unlivings. I heard it was 5.5 hours. If this is true, wouldn't it be helpful for Ellie to check camera footage at gas stations, rest stops that are located on his route from Moscow, where his parents' cabin is? Very interesting, very clever, very, very important questions. It's likely he stopped to use the bathroom, fill up his gas tank, get a snack or drink, etc. My hometown, along with many of my friends' peers, was located 5 to 6 hours from my college town. As much as I wanted to make the whole drive without stop, I had to make at least one stop to use the bathroom, fill up my gas tank, get a snack or drink, etc. Same with many of my friends and peers. My point is 5 hours is a long time to drive without stopping. If Ellie is able to get camera footage from a gas station rest stop, they could easily rule him out if his location after the time of the murders was too far away from Moscow. Example, if he has been seen in a town that's located 4 hours away. Very interesting questions. Yes, I do totally agree. Why didn't they check, or did they check his locations? All that is going to come up in court, and it's going to be very interesting. Where was this young man? Another thing, if he had a fight and was thrown out of the corner club, he was at the corner club for a couple of hours drinking. I don't believe he is just sitting there for fun. So he would have need to use the toilet a couple of times. Then, just say, God forbid, allegedly, if he did this or if he participated in the unlivings, which makes sense to me, he would have been thirsty, he would have been exhausted, he would have been having an adrenaline rush. Did he just drive and drive and drive without stopping? That could be possible too. Because once you're trying to get away from the cops, you're going to try to make breaks because you know, if you're a professional, you know there's cameras going to be taking surveillance of you. But did they do their research with this man? Because he clearly went to his parents' cabin. He has a knife collection. find that interesting. This is John Jack Showalter, Roger Showalter Jr., when he was young. And you can see his eyes are the same size. What I'm trying to say is that the night of the 13th November, the grub truck, his right eye looked really, really small, like he couldn't open it. And he had a cut from above his eyebrow right down to his chin. How was he as a kid, I wonder, as a therapist? Was he always harassing and bullying girls? Was he always unaliving animals? Was he involved in any arson? Was he always getting kicked out of maybe football teams and all? Frats, like he got kicked out of his frats. That would be a motive to take Ethan down. If you have a mind that's twisted and you're full of hate and revenge, or if KAYLEE was going to blow the whistle in case he unalived Hannah Clee or Hudson Lindo, or if he was really obsessed with KAYLEE, and don't forget, that was KAYLEE's last night. She was leaving. Hoodie guy was ruled out too quickly, in my opinion. This is all from the college in the beginning and from the public. This is Hoodie guy. He got kicked out of his frat, kicked out of the corner club. So he got kicked out of his frat because of Ethan. And Ethan got him kicked out because he was harassing the girls. Not only Maddie and KAYLEE, other girls too. He got kicked out of the corner club because of KAYLEE. He was bothering her. He has a collection of knives. He has hunting pictures of Keba. That's evidence. He was one of the last people to see Maddie and KAYLEE alive. I totally agree. Maddie and KAYLEE left him hanging at the grub truck. Add that. That's a red flag. He left waving his hand. He was upset, clearly. He had injuries on his right eye at the grub truck. And he was carrying a weapon. And he was the girls' neighbors. Something had happened at the corner club. At the corner club. That was enough for him. He snapped. Let me know what y'all think, guys. Wonder why they haven't investigated him well. And then there was the rumors that he went to Africa. I'm not sure about that. Once it was said South Africa, once it was said Kenya. His family, his parents are doctors and they do missionary doctor work. Anything is possible. They do anything to get their son out of trouble, it looks like. And there's so many questions to answer with him. What was he carrying at the grub truck? What weapon was he carrying? I hope Ann Taylor answers all those questions. Because Hoodie guy, aka Hoodie guy, John Jack Roger Showalter Jr., was the only person who left that night. He has a collection of large K-bars and large knives. Why did he have on white gloves at the grub truck? If he got thrown out of the grub truck, was he waiting outside for the girls? Definitely. It's strange, I've said that in many of my clips before. He had to be waiting out for them, and as soon as Maddie and KAYLEE came out, that's why I said, we're going to get you for that, Maddie. Because Maddie told Adam something. So either Maddie or KAYLEE, one of them was going to talk. And I believe the boys at the grub truck were Hannah Clee's brothers. And that is, I'm going according to the source, that is Hannah Clee's brother who grew up with her. He said, we found out about the other half-brother later on. Hannah Clee found out about the other brother right before she was unalived. And she was actually unalived according to her brother. That makes sense, because why did they find a body in an apartment 3 days later? What happened to Hudson Lindo? They're just saying that there was no foul play. He fell in the frozen river. And that's it. That doesn't make sense. He was at a party. He was at the Sigma Chi fraternity party that night. Zana saw him. Maddie saw him. Jake saw him. Hoodie guy saw him. What happened to Hudson Lindo? If he likes playing with animals and unliving large animals on top of that since the ages 10, 12, typical ages of antisocial personality disorder symptoms. I'm not saying that's what he has, but he comes in all the checkbox. And you can imagine, if he came for Ethan, Zana would have defended Ethan. Ethan would have defended Zana. They would have died for each other, which they did. May they rest in peace. That always made sense to me, because let's think, BK is too tall to be fighting with Zana. Zana wouldn't have been even having a fight with BK. It should have been done in 2 seconds. BK's hand is big, guys, if you'll have noticed. If BK just takes a grip on someone's neck, that's it. And BK doesn't look like the aggressive type. This man fits the profile more. Got kicked out of the flats, harassing females, bothering females. The mainstream news is running away with everything, saying that, oh, BK wasn't given the correct grades to female students, so he hated females. I'm a female. I'm an educated person, and I really don't believe that's the case. People are being biased. There could be many explanations. Maybe he just wanted his students to get better because he's the type who used to be always best in his class. But this young man was thrown out of the flats, thrown out of the corner club, has a collection of knives, got kicked out of the flats. His parents paid for a flat for him, apartment in Kings Road. He lived 2 minutes away from the girls. He knew the front code. He went to the same high school as Dylan and Bethany Funk. Bethany Funk is sitting on his lap in a camping, and that's when they were in high school. So everything I'm telling you here is kind of facts because there's pictures to it. What I'm showing you at the grub truck is not something I made up. You can see people carrying And this is starting to make sense with the targets, Ethan and KAYLEE. Because Ethan got him kicked out of the frats, which was his life, and just because of sexual harassment. And, trigger warning, and KAYLEE got him kicked out because he was still doing that. He was harassing females. He was harassing her at the corner club. She got him kicked out. He must have been standing outside waiting for the girls to come. And then he said, "You know we're going to get you for that, Maddie." That's why KAYLEE said, "Maddie, what did you tell Adam?" And she said, "I told Adam everything." I think, personally, Maddie told Adam that John Jack Showalter was involved with whatever happened to either Hudson Lindo or Hanackley. And I think it's Hanackley, because Hanackley's brother and friend, like I said, or brother and cousin, were driving a 2017 white Hyundai Elantra. The police need to look into that. And Taylor needs to look into that. I think they got the wrong man, honestly. But the only thing that doesn't make sense to me is, does BK know any of these people? And his alibi is not that strong. Why did it take so long to give his alibi? And why did his car come back the next morning at 9:30 in the morning around the areas? That's my questions to BK. But I always had a feeling that the person they were calling an incel or sociopath and all, I hate to say, was more addressed. They didn't even know to this young man. He was getting kicked out of frats, skinning animals, throwing unalived coyotes in front of frats' house. In front of sorority's house, bothering females, and he recently got arrested 3 months ago for disturbing the peace. He fits the profile, and not BK. This picture was on John Showalter's Facebook. Isn't that a K-Bye? Could that be the one he was carrying? Let's see. Remember this one, guys, yeah? What is he carrying in his pocket? You'll see that. Could that be the one that I showed you all just now? Maybe it has a case. The size looks almost like it. I don't know. The long part is, I think, the folded part of his jacket, if I'm not wrong. But the knife or whatever it is downwards. Let me know. But this man is carrying. That we can see clearly. You can go check it for yourselves at the grub truck. The knife that I just showed you all was from his Facebook. That's where all the pictures came from. I was lucky. I was taking a lot of pictures of Jack Showalter, the social media, and Jack D. And believe me, I found a lot of interesting things, especially in Jack D. Like his TikTok picture where his knees were injured, and his legs, and his lips. That was right after the unalivings. I don't believe there was only one person involved in this unaliving. There was more than 3. At least there were 3 people inside. That's why there's 3 unidentified male DNAs. This is the knife. I think it's a kebab he had on his Facebook. Is that the same one he's carrying at the grub truck? Or is he carrying something else, a rod or an axe or something, or hatchet. But look at this one. What if he has this one in a case? I wonder if Hoodie guy knows BK. Who came out with the idea to frame BK? I wonder. Or was BK involved in the cleaning? Hoodie guy knows the in and outs of this house. He has the front code. He knows the dog Murphy. He was full of anger and rage because KAYLEE got him kicked out of his favorite corner club where he socializes. I believe he's one of the odd ones in every college. Allegedly. And then he had only the frats to live for, that he worshipped. That was a family tradition where his two brothers or doctors or Sigma Chi boys, I guess, or some frats in Idaho, Moscow. I read they were frat boys. The father, mother donate a lot to this college. They've been to this college. And then the youngest son, Jack, comes and harasses women and has a lot of complaints about sexual harassment. Ethan goes and reports him and gets him kicked out of the frats for harassing KAYLEE, and maybe Zan and Maddie too. This is all alleged. When he does that is when John Jack Roger Showalter snaps. Now he has two targets in mind, KAYLEE and Ethan. One on the third floor, one on the second floor. He got Xana because Xana was definitely trying to defend her boyfriend. He got Maddie because Maddie was in the same room with KAYLEE. But it doesn't mean, in my opinion, that Maddie and Xana were collateral damage. I believe that they both were targets too. Because let's not forget, it's not only Hoodie guy who did this for alone, in my opinion and in my theory. The Sigma Chi Fraternity are involved too. Something happened in that party, which I'll be making clips later on this week about Zan and Ethan. But they are involved too. Because you can see Hoodie guy and the frats working together. And we don't know if he is working together with Jack D and Adam. He could have been working with DM and Quinn Kelly, because Quinn Kelly is from Boise, Idaho. So he knows him, most likely. And he knows DM and BF from Boise, Idaho High School. He knows the code to come in. And the surviving roommates just have to keep their mouth shut. He was the one last seen with the girls. If KAYLEE got him kicked out of the corner club and Ethan got him kicked out of the frats, he was fuming, he was upset, I'm sure rage, anger, the words got of him. They could have pre-planned this the night before. They could have asked DM to get KAYLEE to come and show off with a new car and to come to the party. Wasn't it said DM called KAYLEE as a +1 and DM went and visited KAYLEE? Maybe John Jack Showalter sent DM because they went to the same high school in Boise, Idaho. And you can see that in True Crime Designer's channel. She shows you all what years they graduated from. He was upset from the grub truck right up to the girls left. And he was threatening them on the way to the grub truck. I showed you all this 2 years ago. You have, this backs up my theories. John Jack Showalter and Bethany Funk with black hair. The woman that can get BK exonerated. Did she see BK from the window, passing by window? Or does she know exactly what happened and BK knows that she knows? That means, in other words, she and BK know each other. Look at how comfortably she's sitting on John Showalter's lap. They know each other. I believe they dated each other, in my opinion. That's very possible. And if they know each other that well, to be so comfortably sitting on each other's lap, then I would say it won't be a stretch to say that BF and DM could have left the door open on purpose, just in case the girls change their codes. So these two and DM went to the same high school. They know each other well. Could this person with the white mask be Hoodie guy, John Jack Showalter? What if he went and wore a white K-9 mask? That is sides some. Because look at the white hoodie. I don't think that's far-fetched. Let me know what you think. And he was injured on one eye. And look at this eye. It's closed. Just like in the grub truck. Go to my previous clips and you see. And that will make sense. Because if his targets was Eaton for getting him kicked out of the frats, and KAYLEE, number one, KAYLEE because she got kicked him out of the corner club, maybe the humiliation, the anger, the rage, the frustration, all those things going through his thoughts. And I don't think he can control his anger. He seems like he has anger management. He has a serious anger behavior issue, I believe. I really believe this is him. Because BK has a bigger neck. And if you look at the picture of KAYLEE,